In my opinion, not too much people know about autism. I have to tell them first, but sometimes I forget, so I have to remember that.
Most people know at least one autistic person and therefore have a small idea about autism. I find the best ways of making friends are by joining clubs and making friends over shared interests, and in class with assigned table buddies to get to know them in a more structured environment.
So, basically, I already have a friend and I'm really good friends with him. And we always chat, play. So yeah, that's my answer. Yes, because it represents your school, but not if it's not comfortable. So, in my opinion, maybe.
Lots of people with autism struggle with executive functioning, and this is working out what steps to take to get a task done. I find that having a uniform helps me go faster in the morning and reduces the number of choices I have to make before I get to school, which keeps my stress levels low.
50-50, I'd say.
I found the lunch hall at my school to be overwhelming and increases my stress levels. I found that it was too noisy and all of the smells of all of the food made it too difficult for me to eat my lunch in there, and I often had to eat my lunch in a separate classroom away from the overwhelming sensory input.
So my experience in the lunch hall would be, well, people throwing around food everywhere, if it's a day where everyone has to throw food, that I don't really take part in because obviously, why would I? And yeah, that's my experience in the lunch hall. I wish it was better.
It's loud.
I felt much safer at school once I had established a safe space in the school, which was one of my teacher's classrooms that I could go to if I felt overwhelmed and I wasn't coping. Knowing that I could always go to that space made it easier for me to cope with the other parts of the school.
Going to the toilets and just camping out there on my phone, that's what. Maybe instead of toilets, actually just go to the SEN department if you're allowed.
Masking is something that autistic people do to help them fit in and to not stand out as much. Masking is when you try and think about what the other person is expecting you to do in that situation and how they're expecting you to act, and then you try and do that to hide your autism and to make you feel like you fit in more. Masking is very tiring, and if done for long periods it can have a negative impact on your well-being.
Masking is something basically meaning that you just change your identity, and I think that's not really okay because you're someone else. Pretty much everything, because for example, if it's wet play, then we have to stay inside our classroom, and the problem with that is people get a bit chaotic, and by a bit I mean a lot.
I would change pretty much everything as well. At break times, we're not allowed in. Even if it's minus 20 degrees outside, we're not allowed inside.
I would let all autistic people choose where they sit in the classroom, whether it's near the door or if it's at the back of the classroom or near the teacher, depending on what's best for their learning. And then the other one thing I would change is make sure their lighting isn't of a kind that flickers, because that can be very overwhelming and visually disturbing to some autistic people and distract them from what the teacher is saying. One environmental recommendation I would make for all schools is to have carpets in the hallways and classrooms, because this can reduce the noise of chairs moving and being scraped around, as well as footsteps in transition times between classes. I found the transition to secondary school very difficult, and it took me over a year and a half to get comfortable in the new environment and to become happier in the day-to-day and make a good group of friends.
I feel okay about it because obviously like you have to prepare to like talk to other people because they might ask you questions and you're gonna have to answer them because they're really curious.
I love meeting new people and like making friends everywhere, and I like doing this in structured social situations as this makes me feel more comfortable. For example, when I walk the dog, I love talking to all the people and all the other dog walkers about my dog.
Well, basically, in the past, I have been bullied myself. And if I were given advice for another person who was getting bullied, then basically all I'd say is run away as fast as you can, find the nearest teacher, anyone. If you do it the way that I did it sometimes, then go to a group of people and say, please help me.
Talk about it, talk to your teachers or talk to your parents about it and see if they can give you any good suggestions and help you out.
I think the best thing to do after playtimes, make sure like the teachers are to tell all the kids like, did you have a good like playtime? Are you alright? Like individually, so then like they know that they can like trust you.
I find when teachers put in structure, for example, they assign the groups for small group work and also put things like schedules of what's going to happen in a club or in a lesson to help the autistic people know what's happening and not have to be making decisions and try to join friendship groups and pair up.